Travis, my good soul. When you witness the Mormon mass murderer of his family down in southern Utah, and as a Mormon, if you do not publicly denounce that, if you just hide, hope it goes away, that everybody will forget, and I can assure you people don't. People still remember the Mountain Meadows Massacre. People still remember Ted Bundy. Still people remember Brian David Mitchell. They still remember the big stories. Mark Hoffman even. You have to understand that because you have chosen not to publicly denounce it, and notice the church didn't, you have to accept the fact that you are complicit with the murders, with the crimes. And it's the same with the church. When the church does something wrong in the public eye, among the Mormons, and the way to judge is the scriptures. If they do not follow the scriptures, they're wrong. And you as a Mormon are required to use the scriptures by which to judge. That's the way to judge righteously. And if you do not stand up and go, no, that's wrong, as the former bishop who refused to have the church force him to ask sexual questions of little children for temple worthiness, for personal worthiness. Again, you are complicit. He chose not to be complicit and risk getting excommunicated for it. The church, in doing that, was wrong. And not just wrong, but criminally wrong. And it wasn't until afterward, when he was able to rally a large mass of people to have them stop it and change policy, that they did make a formal list of questions for bishops and allowed children to have a witness, allowed women a witness, but men were not allowed a witness. It's heart-wrenching to witness somebody being abused and to feel helpless. But it's another thing in our internet age to not make a statement of disapproval. The cops who murdered a black man at his car, and it was caught on camera by those who stood by watching. Those were cops, and they were citizens. All they could do was record the crime, which was then used in court against them. That's not being complicit. I mean, yeah, they could have rushed the cops. But in that situation, you're in shock. The people who are in a job of trust to protect and serve the people committing a crime of murder is shocking. And if you're not programmed, and experienced, and trained and to handle that kind of situation like cops are supposed to be, you do freeze because you don't know what to do. When the homeless person had OD'd in our dorm here, people froze because they didn't know what to do. And it was through my coaching that people were able to figure things out, help revive them. And then I had to go find out why staff was not rushing up here. And so when the church is not involved in crimes, but are involved in religious lies, blatant lies, not just differences of religious views, actual lies. They claim that we're Christian, that Jesus is our Christ, and that Joseph was Christian and Jesus was his Christ. That is a blatant lie. We know this if we would just read our scriptures, by which we judge them. And we have the Joseph Smith papers now that can confirm the scriptures that they are lying to us. There was an immediate danger of this church taking the Christian Jesus and merging him with the physical Jesus of Joseph Smith by turning his visions into literal history. Because Jesus now has to follow the laws of physics, and he doesn't in the visions. He defies the laws of physics in the visions. And you cannot merge the two. You cannot merge the supernatural with the laws of physics. It only works for Hollywood. Some great movies, but you don't want to believe them. And so, these kinds of things, you've got to say, this is not Joseph's church. This is not the doctrine. When the Book of Mormon tells you at the very beginning, it's written in the learning of the Jews, why are you imposing Christian interpretation with supernatural Jesus? That's not the learning of the Jews. What are you doing? Why are you getting angry when people say, what are you doing? You're supposed to take the hint and learn about the learning of the Jews. And then you would learn that the Bible was formatted, the Torah and the Tanakh, technically, not the Old Testament, that's the Christian interpretation of it, was formatted in 800 CE, AD. And that the Babylonian Jews are different because they got assimilated into Babylon. As all of their rituals and holy days are Babylonian. Their language, Babylonian influenced. Everything got assimilated by Babylon. And so when you read in the Book of Mormon that they are the pre-Babylonian captivity Jews, in other words, the house of Israel, now you need to know what their religion was prior to the captivity. And it was Egyptian. And so you need to learn Egyptian. You can't avoid it and hope that you can get a spiritual witness without a physical manifestation, physical witness of the truth of the spiritual witness to confirm that you're not being lied to and deceived. But it's just heartbreaking that there are so many Mormons who would rather be complicit in crime and lies than to stand up and say, hell no, it's got to stop. Stop the lies. Stop the crimes. I'm out. I'm out.
How many times did I wipe my ass with it?
But I also do videos to help Mormons get out. I didn't sign the paper. I didn't get excommunicated. I chose to stop. and chose to condemn and expose, to warn other Mormons. That requires knowledge on your part, I know. You can't just do it, but you can do your own video as to why you left, and many people do that. I just hope it's based on truth rather than misinformation. Right, ex-Mormons? So, it's just, why? Why do you choose evil rather than to be good? Because if they're not telling you the truth, if they're committing crimes, they are evil. They are following Lucifer's plan. They're taking away your agency. You are putting yourself in bondage to them by being complicit, by being silent, by just going with the flow. And it's even worse because there are Mormons who are knowingly complicit, who aid and give comfort to the church, as in what's being done to me here, for example.
This guy Charlie Cox is old, man.
So you gotta stop.
With the X.